drop in for a few minutes just to do regarding mental health. Sitting on my bed doing this video. Lately, I like sitting on my bed doing a video. I don't know why. Anyway, if I can get it a little straighter. There we go. That was nasty. And the reason why I'm in mental health is because not being addressed properly. There are so many people that in a mental, well, not a mental, but a psychiatrical location don't belong there. So I'm doing this video. It's a lot. I will say that, because when we have, and we all have them. Okay, we all have moments where we say things and people don't want to. Everything is okay. People don't want to communicate about it. They just rather sit and call the police, or call the psych hospital. It's kind of late for me, but they don't realize person if they've never been in a place like that, and it's traumatizing. It really is. It messes with your mental. It messes with your nerves. Okay, it messes with a, for a person that has never been in a type of facility like that. And once you go in, no matter what you do, what you say, you're trapped. They see fit. Is it right? Is it fair? No. Do they care? Not at all. They don't care. And very sneaky and underhanded. And I say it with my own eyes. Crowd around somebody. Physically attack them. Somebody from behind, from the side, from the front, they don't care. They treat you like you are and for them to not treat in a manner that is humane, ugly. Nobody deserves to be held against. Nobody deserves to be locked away. Nobody deserves to be attacked in any situation, the medical field. what took place is someone being attacked. And someone, never have been in a place like that to get ambushed and lied to by hospital staff is very, and I'm talking about this because know what goes on once those doors slam shut. In, okay, and if you are an anxiety attack, and if your anxiety attack ties into anger, not only will they attack you, they will throw you, and then they'll they'll stick you with a shot strapped down, put you in another room, and forget about you. This is what goes on in the portion of a hospital. Once you're behind those doors, they don't care a person anymore. You have no rights, you have no voice, you have no freedom. They expect you to snap and just go berserk. And I've seen both sides. Okay? I have anger issues and cops. And the cops show up, if they show up. They arrest him or hog tie him, throw him in the back of a cop car. The most disgusting hospitals. Drop them. There are no questions. There is no human. And once you go in there, they take. If you go in with jewelry, a wallet, they will take everything from you. And that's so inhumane. But yet, there are some people that are violent. There are some people need care because they're not getting it. They haven't gotten it. And with these facilities, if that's what you want to call them, miniature prisons, um, in these places, there are one-on-one therapy. That is just not non-existent. But yet they want to sit and do group. Why do you want to give them group time? A lot of people need that. It will help them better. I'm saying because it needs to be addressed. And law enforcement is not going to address it. The government is not going to address it. Nobody does. It's to them, it's taboo. To them, nobody cares. It's like you are not 100% mentally. They want to lock you up and throw you. And again, they don't care. These employees are just there for a check. They went through nursing school and they want to do the easiest thing possible. Oh, let me work in the psych ward. You pace up and down the hallway with your little notebook and peeking in folks' rooms. Okay? There is no type of outside time. There's no mental cultivation. There's no time. There's no kind of compassion. There's none. And to say that this, this is this is what our medical field does. This is everybody, whether you're in or out. It affects everybody. And people don't realize how important mental health is. They A lot of people don't get it. But a weak moment, or when we battle depression or anger or whatever the case may be, they want to give pills, date you. They want to strap you down to a bed and forget about you. The medical field is disgusting because a lot of the hospital do not fight for a patient's rights. And as I'm standing there, hearing people asking, you know, can I have my medication? And they look at their watch. Oh no, you have to wait for 4 more hours. But this is not psych. This is blood pressure medication. This is there's one guy that um, was talking to, and he told her that was admitted, so they want to call it, antibiotics. He literally legit had a medical issue, his antibiotics from him. Now, what I heard him say that he is for 2 weeks, and didn't know any of this, so they weren't giving them to him. How can you be in the medical field and not their medical records, not try to do anything in the best interest that is in your care? I, I wanted to be um, a neurosurgeon. I wanted to be a cardiothoracic. I wanted to save people. I wanted to make a difference in these people's lives, not glide through med school, glide through nursing school, and go to the psych ward. And this is what a lot of people do. Two of them. One couldn't get through nursing, get her through homework and nursing school, and she still failed. There was one that was a CNA, but she screwed up her medical career against herself. Why would you risk your medical to put your hands on somebody else to give themselves? Going through nursing school or med school is not cheap if you do it the right way. It's not cheap. But yet, females, I can't even call them women, these two females are a part of the disgrace in the medical field. I just, you know, witnessing the behavior of hospital staff and patients, even in the trauma, they do do vitals, listen to your breath, check and make sure you have no cerebral, no brain damage, no concussions, and they're sitting there with doing this, and then they walk off. Someone will be right with you. 30 minutes. So on and so forth. I, I don't know if y'all heard that. I heard it. You know. Moving on. Oh, I've literally been home for an hour. It's 11:06. I've literally been home. Um, thank God. Um, you know, sorry, I just lost my. This is another reason why I want to move from this side of town. This is poor and disgusting. It never used to be. That's why I moved. Things happen. Um, wow, I legit lost my train of thought. But nobody fully dived deep into the field. There we go. And, and the time goes on, patients suffered a physical trauma, and they have to wait and lay in a bed long. This is a trauma in every hospital, supposedly. But yet these patients, sometimes their legs are gashed open. Sometimes they have a slice. Something happened to them while they're in trauma. To sit there or lay there and wait to be admitted, they don't even patch them up. They don't. All they do, you know, uh, um, check for, ask a few questions, poke their tablets, and they leave these people in pain. They don't ask them, "Are you allergic to any medication? Do you have any allergies?" They'll put over a wound so the blood won't run down. It's not even a bed; it's a freaking pad. They don't have beds; they have pads. Um, and the patients are left like that, and nobody wants to address. Nobody. It's like it's taboo. It's off limits. One of their family members, one of their friends, they want to act a stone. But for a patient, and heaven forbid they don't have medication. Sorry, insurance. It's but like ward, it is. If people really, it is embarrassing. It's humiliating. It is disrespectful because they take your clothes off of you. They take whatever you come in with, they put you in these gowns Go. Where is the human? Where is the common courtesy? Very few nurses and RNs and have good bedside manner. They know how to communicate. They have compassion. A lot do. Most are just there for a check. That is the quickest way on each and every paycheck without having to actually physically do something. And then hospitals are understaffed. Takes them even longer to do anything. I understand to a certain degree, certain people need more or less when it comes to mental health. But a lot of these doctors buy their books. Okay? Everybody's body is not the same. Okay? Patient mentally is not the same. And you can't go to your and say, oh, well, according to my book, it says you need this medication dosage that many times a day. So let me go ahead and write you a prescription. There's no blood work. There is no of the medical history because they don't look. They don't take the time to read their patients. They go by what they see. I'm the medical be re-evaluated. Each nurse or doctor, whatever you are, needs to be investigated and monitored because there are people that are laying on a pad on a metal frame in a cold hospital. They ask for another blanket, they don't get it. For help and crying for help, and nobody hears them. They just walk past them. I witnessed all of this, and it it it, it angered me because there was nothing I. And I'm hearing all of these people, yelling nurse, 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 and I watched 6 nurses in a group. They all had their ponytails sitting back and forth as they walk. One even had the fucking audacity to keep walking. I, I don't care if you're on lunch. I have seen and nurses walk into the hospital through the ER doors, scrubs, and they go to a patient that says, "What's wrong? What can I do? What do you need?" Women and males that are in scrubs see a patient and ignore them on your iPad, on your tablet, on your phone. Last time I checked, especially on the upper floors, where and in the trauma unit, phones aren't supposed to be used. And in the hospitals, there's even shows no phone signs. But yet, nurses are walking through. Or some concerned about self and the way they look. They're doing their makeup, making sure their eyelash, checking their lace fronts. All of that before you got to work. I've probably been in the medical field. I would be one of those people in every patient. You need another blanket? Give me 1 second. You need some ice chips? Give me 1 second. You need some water? Give me 1 second. They don't take the time to get to know their patients. I mean, it's called communication, common courtesy. Give patients their. They go to medical assistants need you. Not because they want to go for the fuck of it. They want to go to a hospital and sit there in the ER for 6 hours. Why? Like sitting in the ER for 6 hours waiting for your number to be called is fun. For who? I remember, years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I had chest pains. My heart, it would speed up, and I'd feel my heartbeat in my hands. I had tunnel vision, barely hear. All of this while I was at work. Supervisor, I said, I'm going to the hospital. And she was like, do you need an ambulance? Hell no. I have a car. She said, oh, but Remy, that's not okay. I worked 7.5 hours. Just like this. I think I'll be okay. I mean, hell, nothing else besides calling an ambulance. Minimum is $1,000. Now, granted, I have insurance, but there are so many people that don't have insurance. I have slipping into the hospital through the ER doors. Then they stagger to the nurse's station. And the nurse is sitting there on her computer. Excuse me, miss. And it progresses from there. Medical staff is little girls and these little boys that don't give a fuck. I've had some pretty good doctors. But let me tell you, my doctor's office that I go to currently, every last one of them motherfuckers in that building is stupid as fuck. And lazy. Anyway, they're just dumb as hell. Just dumb as hell. And, and they act like just because they're by someone that's in pain or someone that's in need or anything like that, they make them wait. I've seen this kid. I've seen a kid, and I'm a dad or uncle or whatever the case may have been, sitting in the ER hours. I had already been there for 4. They've been sitting there with smoke inhalation. Okay, aren't meant to have smoke in them. Smoke inhalation can kill. and soot that can build up in the trachea, and it'll clog the lungs. It'll clog the called, but they'll clog the ventricles, even though that's in the heart. But for the people that don't understand, clog the little tubes and little pathways. Okay, not trying to be rude or not trying to be funny, but some people don't understand, and that's perfect. But they sit there. Now, up on the psych ward is in whichever hospital. If, if you aren't able to walk or aren't pretty much in control, strap you down to a wheelchair and to the elevator to the floor. They don't see to ask, how do you feel? You know, you know what led you here. They wait. They sit there with their tablets and they poke. What was it? What's the reason why you ended up here? 42 or 78, 42 or uh, 74. 72. Damn. Brain is just 48 to 72 hours later. That's when you come in and out. That question should have been on day one. Okay? There are so many people that go in a hospital for a 72-hour hold. Now, the people that go into the psych ward for 72 hours is taking a space away from somebody that could actually. And hospitals and law enforcement to take somebody to a hospital and say, oh, they tried to kill themselves. They were trying to harm. Where is your proof? Please tell me. In a court of law, you have to prove evidence, not just what you scribble down on your piece of paper. But yet, they go by hearsay. Well, Officer so and so brought this patient in. We're going to take. You don't even know your patient's name. They're always referred to as patient. At least give people that kind of address them by their name. Not just walk in, hey, how are you? Bitch, do you even know my name? She said that to people. They walk in, oh, hi, how are you? I'm understaffed today. And I just look at them. Is everything okay? No fucking meerkat ass. No, everything is not okay. Why the fuck do you think I'm sitting here? No. I mean, their basics is try to walk in with Mile, with their little notebooks, and they walk in smiling. Hi, how are you doing? What's going on? And why are you asking me this? People, that can't speak. I, I've heard of that, going on in psych wards. I've heard of it. Don't speak. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're thrown into a psych ward. About. And there are some people who have families. And, and they're treated. I can't. I don't even know how they're treated. It's like I can't describe how patients are treated in the psych ward because it's inhumane. It's so much more than I can say in this video. It's so much more. And it's going unnoticed. The psych ward keeps everything hush hush. Talk about that. We can't talk about what goes on in here. So somebody's in there for but they can't discuss what goes on. For the people that are able to make calls, you can't discuss what goes on in the psych ward. No, you don't have to discuss it. You can hear it. Those places are loud. There are the violent ones, and it's not their fault. It's not of psychiatric care. It is the push of medications, and the push for medications is to keep them suppressed, to keep them silent. It basically stops all bodily functions, so they bed or sit in a chair. There are literally no psych ward. None. If you don't do what they say, are you being combative? No, ho. I'm not ready to go. You know? Yeah, I'm not ready. I don't want to sit in a group. I don't need to sit, and they do dumb shit in these groups. They give them crayons. And they sit and, you know, and they have to sit and try to explain why they use certain colors. What about activating the mind? What about cultivating the mind? What about teaching them different ways and different steps better themselves? What about that? Oh, they don't want to do. Oh no, they don't want to do that. They want to keep people in these and keep them vegetated. Basically, them unaware of what's going on around them. Heard several nurses and RNs sitting there talk like they had tails. And as I'm walking through, I'm looking back like, and you're a nurse, you're an RN, but you've already demeaned this person or these people. They're in shock. So tuck them away in this boring, bland room with nothing to do. You go halfway down the hall and talk about it like he's not a person. But then, if there is someone physically combative, their first thing to do is tackle them, to attack them. All of their body weight on them, and the the male will put their knee in your shoulder, knee wherever they can to try to keep you from moving. So that, but nobody wants to address the state of the psychiatric world. And because even though it's a part of our society, it's a part of our everyday life, a lot of people don't even pay attention to it. A lot of people don't even care. Nobody wants to talk about what goes on in a psych ward. Talk to each other about it, about patients, um, about these people, like they're nothing. And nobody wants to do anything. I I wish I had the privilege to every psych ward in the hospitals, and so you can see and hear the shit that goes on in there. Okay, they barely keep the place clean. There are the staff is very rude. Okay, have this superiority complex that it makes them think, oh, I'm better than this side. You're on that side. You're not better than any. And I say this because of the way you treat these people in these places. But nobody wants to talk about it. Everybody, well, no, society, sight out of mind. That's society. But yet, that are in these places are human too. They are people. It is somebody's son, somebody's father. It's somebody. But they're treated like garbage, trash. Just throw them in and throw away the key. That I have a hard accepting the medical field today because it's a serious lack of care. It's a serious lack. It's a serious lack of empathy. It's a serious of humanity. And nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to address it. Well, I have no filter. I've I've seen it. I've heard it. And was enough to make me that I am powerless to change the way in these places. I've heard a guy screaming through the wall. Okay? He's on this side. Okay? I'm on this side. Well, you have to be on the other side of the wall to get to that wing of the hospital you have to go through. And I heard him on the side of the wall with both doors closed. Two sets of doors. And I in the next wing. And I'm like, what are they doing to him? Oh, so often he does that. Is anybody checking on him? Or are they just trying to sedate him with a shot? No, they check on him. Which I heard one guy that walked into his room or whatever and said, "Hey, shut up." I said, "Oh, was that checking on him? That's what you call checking on him?" Okay, I see what type of hospital staff is here. What type of hospital staff works here? That's great. It's knowing that you have staff members tell patients to shut up. I said I hate the medical field because with mental, a lot of people need one-on-one. They need to be heard completely. Just don't listen to them. Hear them when they speak. You want to go by your books before the 90s. Your books were printed in the 50s. So how can you go based off of a book and everybody's body is different? You you can't give medication in the same dosage that you gave to this person. But it's not working for this person. But experiment with them and see, you know, if the same medication, or if you increase the dosage for this person, treating them as a guinea pig. They give these people medications that they're allergic to. Why? Because they didn't to check for allergies or any type of chemical medication in the person's body. None of these, none of them. They're worried about the check, and their lace fronts, their eyelashes, and their makeup, and trying to see who they can flirt with. These people don't care about these psych wards. They don't care. In the psych ward, saying they're always messing with my car. I don't bother nobody while they're messing with my car. 7 feet from you, that's puking on the floor because of the medication. I'm sitting there in the waiting room watching this, and I can hear her say, "Oh, that's nasty. I'm going away. You're a nurse. This is what you signed up for." And I don't think the guy had mental health. I really think that he had, he, that's what I really believe. To look at him, I could see that wasn't. I'm trying. I can tell that he. I could see it, but he had on a gown, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is how the nurses treat patients in this place. When I tell you, and I walked away, if I could have that hospital shut down, I would. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do my best to try because there is no excuse for the behavior of hospital staff. I don't care if you're understaffed or not. There for a patient to be laying there, basically drowning in their own under a mask. Lose their constitutional rights. They lose their freedom, their voice, their dignity, self-respect. They get embarrassed because these fucking cowards that work in these hospitals are going to do something to them. They rather sedate them and immobilize. It pisses me off. There are children, adults, elderly that are trapped in these places with, but yet it is just rolling around, in their nice luxury cars, worried about, money or go after next. What about the people that don't have a voice? What about the people that suffer in these places? Even they suffer because they don't have a voice. You know, and some of them may not even have windows. So they can't see outside. They're just stuck in a bed. Can't walk, can't speak, and every so often somebody goes in there. Hi, how are you? How, how the fuck do you think they're doing? They can't stuck in a bed, stuck in a room that has no windows. How do you think they're doing? Being in for somebody that has never been in one or isn't completely everything that goes on in one, it is traumatizing. It is scary. It is emotional meaning, among other things. Go in with a solid mind, and slowly you start to break because you have nothing to do, and you're surrounded by other people that need the assistance, that need to have therapy. I don't even medication. that is just the medical way of not, not dealing with it to the source, not fixing it. They just want to medically pat you on your back and say, okay, go. But if it, they'd be in tears and going to the hospital every day, staying for 4. The people that like the people that get to wear those ugly, atrocious day in and day out, that have no family, no friends to go visit them, with nothing to do. What about them? They're still people. They still deserve to have. But everybody just wants to sweep everything under the rug and get a steamroller to, to just mental health needs to be addressed. Needs to be addressed. These hospitals need to be investigated. The staff needs to be investigated. So many people that are not getting the care and respect that they deserve. There are so many people that are trapped in these places, sedated, strapped down, being called names, being made fun of, and nobody's doing anything. I don't get it. But this is the yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. My iPad caught my attention. Okay, sorry, it caught my attention because there was something flashing on my screen. I was like, huh? But it 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 needs to be seriously. It these hospitals, the sports, they need to be addressed because need an advocate. These people need a voice. Need for someone to fight for them. These people need, and they're not getting it. They're in these places and they're thrown away and they're put into the system as just a crazy number. It needs to be fixed. Seriously, needs to be fixed. And soon. The medical world needs to be but most of all is serious. Because if you take using your mind, cultivating your mind, learning and experiencing new things, your mind will crack. You will crack. You will break. And a lot of people So they're trapped in these places because they were in a 72-hour hold, and their mind. So now they're trapped, taking pills that they don't need, and shots that they don't need, because they have no constitutional rights. So with that, I'm please don't take mental health. Don't. Please don't. Have a good night and a good day tomorrow.